Japan's push southward started in September 1940, when they, in agreement with the Vichy French government, moved into northern French Indochina, cutting off an important Chinese supply route. The Americans viewed this as another act of aggression that endangered their Pacific interests. Around the same time, the Japanese entered the Tripartite Pact, joining forces with Italy and Nazi Germany. In response, the US enforced an embargo on the Japanese, cutting them off from the trade of copper, iron, and steel, resources which were vital in keeping Japan's war machine running. However, this didn't stop the Japanese from occupying more of French Indochina in July 1941. The US would respond again, but this time they hit Japan where it really hurt, freezing all Japanese assets in America and cutting off all oil trade with them. Soon after this, the Dutch and British imposed oil embargoes of their own on the Japanese. So in one devastating blow, Japan was cut off from over 90% of its oil supply. Japan was now between a rock and a hard place. Initially, they tried to negotiate with America, who demanded that Japan pull out of both the Tripartite Pact and from China. However, these terms were unacceptable for the Japanese. They had already sunk so many resources and men into their imperial ambitions, and giving up their gains now would have been a humiliating defeat in their eyes. They felt the only way forward was to take the land and resources they needed by force, which meant continuing their push south into the Dutch East Indies and British Malaya, whom were both friendly with America. This time around, Japan had no doubt that the US would reply with force. So to beat them to the punch and knock the wind out of them before they could strike a major blow, they decided to attack America's Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. In doing so, they believed they could incapacitate the US fleet long enough to claim the territory they desired in the south and set up their defenses without the threat of US counterattacks. It was a huge risk. The Japanese knew the chances of winning a long war with America were slim to none. They are hoping that the blow at Pearl Harbor will be enough to kill any American ambition of a lengthy and costly conflict all the way over the Pacific against a dug-in enemy, and that they would instead negotiate peace terms in which the Japanese could keep some, if not all, of the land they conquered. For the full story, click the link below.